All right, welcome to another episode of the Finally One podcast. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Natasha.
And we thank you for joining us again. And we just pray you've been enjoying the podcast. This is the fourth episode. We've put a lot of work in it, as you can see. We've been very vulnerable, and we've heard you. So we left you kind of on a hill. What is it called? A cliffhanger on episode 2. So we going to kind of pick up and tell you the rest of that story in today's episode. So first things first, before we get into that, well, let me just start in here before we get into talking about that. Like, how are you feeling? Like, how are you doing personally? Like, how are you feeling? How do you feel about your walk with the Lord? How do you feel about our marriage and the health?
I feel good. Like, I feel stronger. I feel blessed. I feel loved. This is a journey. Like, we've been through the ups, the downs, the good, the bad. Like, I feel good. I'm at a point now that I am good. I feel like I can talk to anybody, share anything, let people know. I can pray for people. Like, it's a blessing.
That's good. You want to know how I'm doing?
How you doing, babe? How you doing with this journey? Yes.
I feel great. Like, I had lunch with my pastor yesterday, and that was one of the questions he asked me. He was like, how are you doing? How's your relationship with God? And how's your family doing? And I basically said, me personally, I am an 8 out of 10 because I want to continue to grow. But I've never in my life been an 8 out of 10. Like, I've never been this happy. I've never been this fulfilled. I've never had this much joy. I've never had this much peace. I've never been great spiritually, in my relationship, and my business doing great. So I am great. So me personally, I'm an 8 out of 10. I'm doing good. My relationship with God is a 9 out of 10, right? I feel like we are in a place, I feel like I can hear him. I feel like I know the things he's working with me on. And I feel like we have a very good relationship. And how I am in the marriage, 9.5 out of 10. Like, and the only reason I'm going to say not a 10 so we can continue. Like, we're going to continue to grow. Like, our marriage is not perfect. I don't want to paint that picture. Our marriage is not perfect. We're just in a groove. Yep. Does it make sense? Like, we know each other. We know what pushes each other's buttons. We don't do things like that. We know each other's love languages. We speak those. We respect each other. And we are friends first. I enjoy that. Like, we are friends first. And I love that. I love the time we spend together, even if it's just doing nothing. Like, like yesterday, we just watched the movie and ate, and we did nothing. And we, from time to time, we told each other, babe, I'm happy just being here with you. And for me, that feels good because it was Friday night. And it was good to be home on a Friday night, like doing nothing. So I am happy. Like, I have joy, I have peace. So I feel good. So let's take them off that cliffhanger. So where we left off is like when we first got married, and I found out I was having a daughter out of wedlock, out of a relationship I ended before we got married. We were all in the same church. So I had my new wife, my daughter's mother, her family, my dad, stepmom, brothers, sisters. I think another one of my exes was in there too. But I'm not saying no name. I'm not gonna remind you who it was, but we're not gonna use no names. But so it was a mess. We were still young. I wasn't even saved. Still didn't know anything. Still had these conflicting feelings. Immature. Like, it was a mess. She was hurting. My daughter's mother was hurting because I wasn't communicating with her. I just knew she hated my guts. The pastor at the time, he pulled me into his office. He telling me I'm lying to him. He's asking me questions. And one of the things I wish I hadn't done is when he pulled me in his office, I wish I hadn't lied to him. I wish I had told him the truth, because maybe I would have got some help. He would have been able to help me. But I was just so young and so immature and so scared and so fearful, like, and so ashamed. You know, I thought my life was over. And I felt ashamed. I felt like I had this scarlet letter, like I was the worst man, worst husband, worst human being on the face of the earth. Like, what was your feelings like at that time?
They were all over the place, but I was hurt. I was stuck. And it was just me. Like, it was me coming into that with his family, with her family, like, and it was just me and my baby. Like, it was crazy. Well, which your dad and all of them, but yeah, I was emotional wreck. Like, it was crazy.
It was a spectacle. It was the beginning of to me not liking church. Like, and my stepmom used to sing this song. He's working it out. Oh my gosh, I hated that song.
And I would cry every time.
Falling out. And I hated it because the reaction it would give her, it convicted me. And it was just a really tough, depressing time of my life.
Hey, we interrupt this episode because we have a book coming out.
Yo, so Finally One, From Teenage Parents to Married to Divorce to Happily Married, is coming out. You know when it's coming out?
February 14th.
2025, 10 a.m. Get your copy on Amazon and listen, help us become number one. Help us take this thing to number one. I've hit number one before on Amazon. This is my baby's first book. Help her become a number one best-selling author by purchasing a copy February 14th, 10 a.m. on Amazon.com.
And everybody knows that's Love Day. So don't forget, February 14th.
Help us buy a copy. Finally One. Listen, check it out. It's on the shirts. Listen, hear our story, right? Hear our story, how we became teenage parents, right? To how we got a divorce, everything. We tell it all in here. This is a tell-all book. We didn't hold anything back. We tell all of our dirt, all of our secrets. We were vulnerable. We became naked, right? And what makes us so free of becoming naked, we became naked before each other first, and then naked before God. And then we were prophesied before we became one again that we would write a book. So we were obedient in writing this book. We didn't want to do this, right?
No, I did not.
We did not want to do it.
I didn't.
I didn't want to do it either. But we were obedient to the Father, wrote this book to help couples, to help relationships, to help people who are thinking about getting married. This will help you, right? This is a testimony. This is ministry. This is our obedience. So get a copy, Finally One, From Teenage Parents to Married to Divorce to Happily Married to Each Other Again.
Yes.
February 14th. Get your copy.
I hope it blesses you.
Like the worst. Like, I watched my daughter's mom carry her pretty much all the way to term, and like I said, no communication, and we all just sitting in the same church.
We're all there. Like, I had to sit and watch it too.
Yeah,
like, it was terrible.
It was like, I don't wish that on
Horrifying.
anybody. It was really tough. And you know, to be young too and not knowing what to do, and having all of these feelings too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I had feelings for you. I had feelings for her. I felt guilty that I'm here. I'm raising Aaron, and I'm not there for her. She's pregnant, and it was bad. Like, 21 years old and dealing with that much stuff, that much pressure, and not saved, and not having anybody to talk to and share all of these feelings and emotions with. And like she said, she crying every Sunday. She at the altar. She's falling out. it was the worst feeling ever. And I just remember that was one of the toughest periods of my life, because I was lost. You know what I'm saying? And I was a baby. We were babies, like really babies. And like I said, I wish I hadn't lied to the pastor at the time when he asked me, put me into his office. He probably could have helped me, but I was just so immature that and wasn't man enough to say what it was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And wasn't saved. So grateful, we got through that. I think the turning point came. I got saved. I don't know if you remember this. I got saved, and then that's when my dad decided to start the church, and we were able to transition from there.
Yeah.
Go to my dad's church, and I felt like we began to kind of grow from there. It wasn't all still perfect, but we began to get some footing. It got better once we got from under that. And the crazy thing, I don't know if you remember this too, we had a pastor who would take us all out to eat after. Remember, he would take everybody and we would all go out to eat too. We wouldn't sit at the same table.
What, at the first church?
Yeah, the first church. Remember that? He would like, let's go eat now, and he would take us to eat and stuff. We would all go to eat and everything. But if she probably don't remember, because it was such a blur. It was traumatic.
Yeah.
Like if we're
There's
honest
a
about
lot
it.
going on too, not only with us, but other things in the church. So
Yeah, it was very, very traumatic experience, but we made it through, and we're grateful. And like I said, if God could restore our marriage, man, He could restore anybody's marriage.
Yes.
He can help anybody's marriage.
But that's the key, God. Like, you can't do it on your own. It has to be with God, through God, all God. Like,
no, we wouldn't be here without God.
right.
We would not be here. I don't know if I talked about it in this episode or what episode. I told my pastor that I wanted my family back, and he said, God's gonna do it, but you're not gonna like how He does it. And let's be honest, most of the time we don't like how God does.
Right.
We just want what we want, and we want it when we want it.
Right.
And we wanted it yesterday.
Right.
But God's time is not our time.
Exactly.
And if you're speaking to that, I believe you would have elected to have this version of a husband in our first marriage.
Oh.
Talk about that.
100%. Like, that's, like, when I first got married, it was like, there's no eyes for anybody else. You are in it until you die. It was death do you part. Like, if I had that now, we would have never had that then.
Yeah.
We would have never gotten divorced, because that's like was my main focus. Like, and I don't even know where I got that from. I guess being in the church and stuff, because I wasn't around a lot. My grandparents were married, but my mom was never married as me growing up.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I got that from the church. Like, when you marry, you are supposed to be in it till death do you part. Like, it is vows. Like, you are committed to each other. And like, if I would have had you then, like, we would have never been in this part. But
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because I know maybe some people who's watching this, they may have the same question. With the infidelity, with the lying, with the cheating, with all of the things, what made you stay? Like, why did you stay with me?
because once going back, like, I was told, like, you are in this. Like, you have to get over things, and you have to stay in that marriage, because this is who you marry. This is what God sees. Like, He doesn't like divorce. Like, I guess that's just what helped me to stay, because like, I'd been tried through everything, but God.
And on top of that, like, I wasn't treating her right. Like, let's be honest, I was not a good husband to her. I was not patient. I was very selfish. It was all about me. Like, I did not, consider her in no thing, like in nothing. It was me, what you're not doing for me, why are you going to do this for me, when you're going to be a better wife, why you not cooking, why you not cleaning, why you not ironing my clothes, keeping my clothes out, why you not, and never looking at me. And to the outside, I was painting this picture like I was this amazing husband and doing all this stuff. But at home, I was doing everything I could to get her to leave because I wasn't man enough to leave the marriage and say I wasn't happy. I tried to be the worst husband I could. I was a coward to try to get her to leave, and she wasn't going nowhere.
No, I was told, like, you be a submissive wife, you stay with your husband, you be there for him, whether he kicks you, spits on you,
I
or
ain't never
anything.
did that. Let's be clear. I ain't
What?
never kick and spit on you.
You did in your dreams. You stand up in the...
Stop.
Y'all, he'd have nightmares. He'd be standing up above me, like, in our bed, kicking and screaming at the demons and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if you would like for us to come to your church, share our testimony, or come to your next event, do a workshop on our 7 steps to becoming one, we would love to. We would love to share how we went from teenage parents to married to divorced and then happily married to each other again. Sweetheart, tell them how they can get in contact with us.
Yes, reach out to us through email. It's admin@kellyandnatasha.com. That's ADMINKELLY and NATASHA.com.
Yep, and you can also go to the website.
Oh, yeah, the website is kellyandnatasha.com.
Yep.
Simple.
We would love to help your congregation. We would love to help and be a blessing to your event. So just go now. Go check us out.
Yeah.
Finding demons. Like, I used to have terrible dreams. And what I discovered is it was the stuff that I was putting inside me. So I was watching movies like Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, all of these, Scarface, all of these movies with shooting, killing, and all of this stuff. And so I would have dreams, and in my dreams, I would end up in places where there's fighting, shooting, killing. Like, I gotta fight my way out of places and all this stuff. And it would be literally taking place inside my dreams. I would fight, tear up the room.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Screaming. Like,
Top of my
you in a deep sleep and you be woken up by that. Like, terrifying. Like, it was awful.
And then the next day, you tell me about it, I would cry, laughing, and
yeah. And I'm still shaking up. Like, what in the world? Like, you were this far from my head. Like, you standing up above me, screaming.
Kicking butt. I want to say something else. I mean, full-fledged furniture moving around.
Yeah, and wouldn't remember a thing.
Wouldn't be knocked out. Wouldn't remember nothing. So, thank God I don't have those anymore. It's very rare. If I have a dream now, it's not because of something I watch or something I'm putting in me. I'm just super tired. Like, I have to be extremely tired to have dreams now. But yeah, it's funny. But it's been a journey. We're getting it back on track. It's been a journey getting to this point. What would you say to maybe a young wife who is not getting the love that she may want from her husband? She's not feeling loved. She's not feeling appreciated. She doesn't feel pretty. He doesn't make her feel pretty. He's not speaking her love language. Would you have some advice for her or anything you could tell her?
Don't look for it on the outside. Don't ever go trying to get it from somewhere else. I know it's hard to say because I know how you're feeling, but don't seek from other places. What you need to do is pray to God that He reveals this to him. Pray that He opens his eyes and sees that you are the one and truly the only one that's before Him. That's really all I can say is that you pray.
That's good. I think that's perfect. I think that's very important. You know what you shared. Pray that his eyes are open, like mine's had to be open. But it wasn't until I ended up in that pig pen and realized that here I am. I'm out here looking for what the Lord had already given me. And I'm out here trying to turn women into her. Like I'm trying to, get women to love me for me. And here I am. I had a woman and a wife who loved me for me, who was with me when we had nothing, sleeping on the floor, sleeping on the mattress on the floor. And she never complained. Like, with me, like I said, we could barely eat. We could barely pay the bills. Like, with me before anything, I'm out here trying to turn women into that and get women to see the type of man that I am without having that much invested. And here she is. She's been fully invested from the beginning. And just a fool. Like the enemy didn't want me to see that my favor came from her. Like everything I accomplished came through her. My favor from her. And then now it's on another level. Now that we're in right standing with God, we are one, we're in alignment. The level of favor that's over our lives and the things that God is blessing us with. And number one, most importantly, peace. Peace. The joy that we talked about, that comes from, being right, treating my wife right, Last thing I'm gonna say, before we end this episode, you remember when we started watching Married at First Sight? When we started watching that started to be our show.
Right.
And they would it would be on one of the episodes, and they would do the change the phone challenge, right?
Yeah.
The swap phone challenge. Boy, I used to pray so hard she didn't get no ideas to want my phone.
Really?
No, seriously. But you know how free it is now. I don't care about this thing.
Yeah, he gave me the passwords and everything.
No.
You can get in my phone anytime.
When we were rebuilding our relationship and rebuilding our marriage, I wanted her to know that I was serious. Like I was not the same person. I wasn't gonna be on nothing. We were gonna be one in everything. That meant nothing is off limits for her. She can pick up my phone. She can call anybody. She can text anybody. She can answer my phone, whatever. We are truly one. But so we were at dinner one night and I was like, yo, I want you to know I'm completely committed to you. Here's the password to my phone. Here's the password to all my social media, everything. Because guess what? I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm free.
To paint the picture, before, like in our first marriage, I couldn't even look at his phone because he was terrified of all the stuff he had in there.
Yeah, texting, DMing, liking pictures. I was on some everything.
Changing the names of the ladies
that
wanted to talk to you to men's names so I wouldn't get it. Like he had a plan.
Yeah, I was man, just wasn't right. But in that episodes, I used to, be praying so hard. But I'm so grateful now that I'm delivered. We're free. When I say we're one, our marriage ain't perfect, but we're one.
Right.
And ain't no foolishness going on. I don't do anything that I wouldn't like if she did it. Does that make sense? Like, if I wouldn't be comfortable with her doing it, guess what? I don't do it. And that's a simple way to keep yourself. If you wouldn't be comfortable with her liking pictures, with her DMing, with her doing certain things, guess what? You don't do it. It's gonna govern you.
Exactly.
So you ain't no better. Like if you can't dish it, you shouldn't be. If you can't take it, you shouldn't be dishing it. And that's how I feel. It's like, no, we are one in everything. And I'm gonna say this too. This may ruffle some feathers. If you are engaged and y'all getting ready to get married, and you can't pick up their phone, you might as well end that right now. If they can't hand you their phone right now, unlock it, you get on the password, you might as well end it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you straight, you might as well end it right now. You're not ready to be married. If they can't be faithful to you before you enter the covenant, how they going to be faithful to you in the covenant? If they can't be one, if this person is not being an example and keeping covenant with Christ first, and they have asked you to be their wife, right? So I don't know if it's husband or wife, whichever one. Because if the wife said yes, if they can't keep covenant and be honest and be naked before y'all get into the marriage, until y'all go to the altar, you think they're going to be faithful inside the marriage? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So if y'all can't become naked, meaning y'all can't swap phones, and certain things are off limits, y'all don't know each other, so listen, you might as well rethink that. Y'all ain't ready to get married. Y'all, because y'all are not ready to be naked before each other, and y'all are not ready to be naked before the Father. Yep. This go round in marriage, we became naked before each other, we became naked before the Father, yes. And guess what? We didn't sleep with each other until we got remarried. So if that man is sleeping with you, and he hasn't committed to you, and he has not committed and been disciplined enough to withhold his flesh from pleasing his flesh until he marries you and honors your father, you may want to rethink that.
That's true.
Because if he can't have discipline now, it's going to be that much harder to be disciplined inside the marriage. If he can't withhold himself now, if he can't control his sexual urges, he can't control his body now, you think it's going to be easier when you get married? Let me tell you, it's not.
No.
Because guess what? This is a magnet. And the anointing is attractive.
Right.
So it's going to get more. And the enemy wants to destroy the marriage. So you think women are not going to be attracted to him? He's not going to get hit on? He's not. We were at a Mexican restaurant. And we eating. I ain't saying nothing. The chick came around in my face like that. You remember that? Mm-hmm. The waitress. And you like, what? You like, what? And I'm like, baby, you sitting here next to me. I'm enjoying the food. And they just made me so uncomfortable. But so I'm just telling you, if neither one of you have self-control now, husband or the wife, listen, you need to rethink that thing. Y'all need to go to some counseling. Y'all need to heal.
Yeah. Before
y'all take that next step. All right? Anything you want to add to that?
No.
Before we get out of here?
No.
All right, I think we said a lot. Now listen, make sure you are sharing the podcast. Please make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you are sending us messages. So comment below.
Yes.
Questions, concerns. We want to hear from you. What are some questions that you have about marriage, about relationships? Questions about our stories, how we overcame something, how we went through something. Listen, we want to hear from you. So put the comments below or wherever you're watching this. Also, shoot us an email. What's the email, babe?
The email is admin@kellyandnatasha.com. Yep. That's admin, ADMIN, at KELLY and NATASHA.com.
Yep, admin@kellyandnatasha.com. Yes. So we want to see you. Once again, subscribe, like, share.
Guys, help us. We want to help somebody else. So like, share, do all of that for us, please.
Yep, and we will see you next Wednesday. Tune in every Wednesday. Finally one. Thank you.
Love you guys. Hey guys, just wanted to come to you thanking you for checking out the Finally One podcast.
Listen, this is what we need you to do. We need to grow our following. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Make sure you're sharing these episodes. You don't know what couple that they may help. So subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You don't know who you're going to help. And make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yes, guys. Share. Help us.
Yeah, and you don't know who you're going to help. So it's not about us. It's about helping couples, right?
Share. Yeah.
So share, like, subscribe. Help us get our following up.